Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is July 19th of 2022. It's Tuesday, and so we've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about the CDC and everything that's going on with that, and then with cruise ships following their big announcement yesterday afternoon. We're also going to talk about what's going on in the Discovery Princess, some changes with Bermuda, actually lots of updates, so just stick with me, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button if you enjoy our videos. Us. So first of all, we're going to start off with Bermuda. I know that we've got some Let's Go family members booked on cruises to go to Bermuda. I know right off the top of my head, we've got Alam and his family and some friends going. And so I just want to let you know that they have made a really big change if you're going to be on a cruise ship to Bermuda. So as you all are hopefully aware from watching my videos, if you are going to board if you're going to go on a cruise and you have had COVID within the last 90 days, they have been allowing passengers to show proof of that positive COVID test. And then some cruise lines require a letter of recovery, others don't. But then you would generally talk to the medical crew on board. They would make sure that you were fully recovered, and then you could go ahead and go on the cruise. Well, Bermuda says no more with that. If you are going to go to Bermuda on a cruise, you have to show proof of a negative COVID test at embarkation. And so you've got to meet that requirement to do it within that window. And so make sure that you are aware of that if you are booked on a cruise to Bermuda. Alrighty. The other update that we have got is the war in Ukraine with Russia invading Ukraine is going on and on and on, unfortunately. And the Serenade of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, they are pulling that ship from sailing in that region now for next year. She was due to sail out of Copenhagen and Stockholm between May and September of 2023, but they have just said that due to that unrest, they are going to go ahead and keep her sailing out of the United States. And so they haven't announced which port yet. I know that she is due to be sailing out of Tampa, so I don't know if they'll keep her there or somewhere else, but we will keep our eye out on that. If you are scheduled on any of those cruises on the Serenade of the Sea, I am really sorry that your cruise has been canceled. Let us know what you've decided to do instead, or if you're looking at another cruise line going to that region. I know that my sister just barely got back from there, and they had an amazing cruise, but of course they thoroughly enjoyed where they went. Of course, they didn't go to St. Petersburg as had been scheduled when they booked the cruise, but she said it was beautiful and they had a magnificent time. And so just putting that out there for you. Now, another update that I wanted to make sure that everybody knows about, if you're sailing with kiddos, with children, Princess has a sale that goes from now through August 15th that on select of their cruises in 2023, if you have like 2 adults in a stateroom and you're going to put 2 children in there with you, the children sail for free, which I think is great. So often, kiddos are counted as just other, well, of course there are other people, but they are counted as other passengers and you have to pay for them. So whenever a kids cruise free promotion comes along, I just like to tell you about it, because I know that if you're grandparents or your parents and you're cruising with those kids, it's a really great promo. And so like I said, they say that is on select voyages, and I looked through and it really includes a lot of them. It does the Western Caribbean with Mexico, the Baja Peninsula and Sea Cortez, the California coast, the Mediterranean, some Alaska cruises, as well as the classic Canada and New England. And so that covers a lot of fabulous destinations, so it gives you a lot to choose from. The other thing that I want to point out with Princess is so often we think of the other cruise lines like Royal Caribbean and Norwegian being who you should be sailing with children, because they have, like the water slides and the, just all of the racetracks, whatever, climbing walls, everything to go with that. But I wanted to let you know that Princess actually has a really good children's program. They do a really good job of dividing it up by how old the children are, having lots of activities for them to do. And every time that I am on a princess cruise and I see children that are together in these groups doing things with whichever, like the Camp Discovery or the Treehouse, whatever it is that they're doing, they all seem like they're having a really good time. And several times I have been at dinner or somewhere else and the kids are asking their parents when they can go back. So clearly they thoroughly enjoy it. And I like that they have a variety of things. They have some sciencey things, they have some fun things, and on the Caribbean Princess they have this really fun splash area that of course the parents can go there with them, but it's a really fun area just for kids. And that is the only ship that I remember seeing that exact setup on, but it is really nice on the Caribbean Princess. If you are looking for somewhere to sail with children that has a really nice like little pool splash whole area for kids, look at that ship. It's a really good ship for that. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that. Another thing that I wanted to make sure everybody knows about is the deal with flights. And so I know I talk to you so often about flights, but here's a little bit more information for you. 2 things. First of all, one of our Let's Go family members put in a comment, and I really appreciate her bringing it up, that so often people think that when they book their flights with Princess Easy Air or with whichever cruise line you're going to be on, whenever you book with their flight service, somehow people equate it in their mind like it's like an excursion. Like they're going to wait for you for sure if you don't get there in time, and everything is going to be peachy. So heads up on that. If you are delayed just a little bit, chances are good they'll wait for you. If a whole bunch of you are on one flight and it's delayed, chances are really good that they'll wait for you. But the ships do have a schedule that they have to keep. When they sail away, there is somewhere else that they have to be, the next port, at a certain time. So they have wiggle room based on what their schedule is, and that can vary a lot. Some cruises it's pretty tight, and other cruises they have a little bit of wiggle room, so be aware of that. The second thing that you should be aware of is in all of the reading that I've done, and I have read a lot, it seems to me that if you book a cruise and you fly in late and you miss part of it, and like they even help you get to the next port or the next port after that, whatever is required, you don't get money back for what you miss. That is your responsibility to be at the ship on that day. And I know in a way that sounds harsh, but at the same time, like where the buck's got to stop somewhere. And I know that the cruise lines don't control the airlines. I'm sure some days they wish they could just make all those flights run. Like I told you, as far as the Island Princess goes, 300 people missed getting on that this last week because of their flights. And so just be aware of that yes, of course, if you book with Princess Easy Air, they're going to help you get to the next destination, whether it requires a flight, whatever it is, they will help you do that. But at the same time, if you miss it, no matter who's booked your flight, you miss it. So I just wanted to make sure people are really aware of that. The second thing that I want to talk to you about is we had a Let's Go family member just not too very long ago today post a question, and he had heard me talking about making sure that the cruise lines have ticketed your tickets. I shared that when we left, and the handiest place to do this, so let me just tell you, the handiest place to do it is on the travel summary to see how things are going. So I have a video about how to print a travel summary, how to find it online, and so I'll have Gordon link it here for us so that you can click on it and watch it. But when you look at your travel summary, it's going to give your booking information, and over on the right hand side, right above like where the ticket information is, like the flight, the departure time and all that, it's going to have a ticket number. And if it is empty, that means your flight has not been ticketed. Okay? The airlines can see your flights. You can have chosen your seats and have your seat assigned without you being ticketed. Okay? That is because the way it works with the cruise lines and the way they issue tickets is they make that reservation and the airline respects it. There is a cutoff that you have to pay for that ticket. If you don't pay for that ticket, in other words, if the cruise line does not pay for the ticket by that day, the airline, it's just automatic. They just let that reservation go. It is canceled because it wasn't paid for in time. That's what happened to us. And so, like I said, when we left on our trip to Rome, that segment was ticketed. And you know what? Having not had experience with this is why I'm so anxious to share it with you. We didn't even realize to look and notice that it was not filled in on Ticketed to Come Home. We only realized it when we got there and our flights were canceled and we were trying to sort out what was going on. So So if you want to know if you have been ticketed or not, go to the travel summary and look. It will show you, because like our Let's Go family member said, they had asked Princess to send them their flight information. They sent them the flight information because it's your flight information, but it's only your flight information as long as it ends up getting ticketed and paid for in time. So be really aware of that. That's a whole separate thing than your flight just randomly being canceled by the airline. That's a whole different problem. The problem that we had was they did not pay for it in time. And so that's why I'm a little bit leery to use the cruise line flight service for a little while here. Like I've mentioned before, I've got some future cruise credits I need to use. It's really nice that you can use those for Princess Easy Air tickets, but I don't know if I'm going to, even just to fly to LA for our cruise at the end of October. I'm keeping thinking about that. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know, look there, and that's where you're going to be able to see if you have been ticketed or not. Now, remember that caveat. If you are within 45 days and you ask them to ticket it, they consider that a change and you will get a bill for it. I would really like to hear from any of you. A few of you sent me emails letting me know that happened to you and you got a hefty charge. And it was craziness between, well, now that's what you've got to pay to have that flight that you asked for, and I'm talking like $800, you guys, a lot, not $45 or something. And so don't be asking for that within that window. You're just going to need to look and see if you're ticketed so that you know what to be prepared for. Okay, just wanted to let you know that. The whole thing with the airline canceling your flight and them having to rebook it, that's just what's going on a lot right now. And that the hard thing with that would be to get a hold of Princess Easy Air. So I just wanted to let you know about that. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with the CDC, and I'm going to tell you what the guidance is that they still have on their website. And then I also want to give you, though, yesterday, I put up my really super fast video letting you all know. And by the way, thank you all who sent me comments. Yesterday was such a busy work day for me. Like, I was just slammed. And so I was not keeping up with the news like I usually do. I just usually routinely check it and see what's going on with cruising. And yesterday I didn't. After I did my video, it was just not. And so thank you all. You are remarkable. You are the best family members anybody could ever ask for. So thank you. But anyway, I did that super fast video. I just stepped out on our front porch and did it to let you know the exciting news that the CDC was stepping out of it. Now, a couple of comments that I got have kind of prompted what I'm going to say to you right now, and I really want you guys' input on it too, okay? So first of all, one person said, COVID is on the rise again. The BA.5 variant is super contagious. There is nothing to be excited about. That was a comment. And then another one was, somebody said, oh, yippee. The only thing that we know for certain about the virus is that it changes. It hasn't gone anywhere. We might be tired of it, but it's not tired of us. So here's a few things that I have thought about, and I want you to know where I stand. But before I tell you a few thoughts that I have had about the CDC and where we stand with COVID, I want to tell you that we are a big family here, and I love all of you. And you know what? We have all these different things, all these different life experiences, and we have a lot of different opinions, and it doesn't mean that one is right and one is wrong. And I just love everybody the same, and I really appreciate it when we have a really good discussion. So that's kind of what I'm wanting to open here. So if you don't agree with me, it's okay. And I want to hear your input in the comments as well. So here are just some thoughts that I have had, and I'll just tell you why I was excited about the CDC announcing that they were not going to be giving the rules to the cruise lines anymore and giving them guidance. A few things. First of all, I am one of those people that I honestly thought that a government entity did not have the right to dictate to a private company what to do, and especially to single out one. That's why I was excited that they're out of it. Whether you agree with that or not, that was what my excitement came from. I feel like there is just so much going on with COVID, and I very much respect that people have had such big differences with it. Some people have lost family members to it. Some people are dealing with long-term illness because of it, with either them or their family member or dear friends. And some people, I don't know how, have gotten through this whole thing with never getting COVID. I don't know how you did that. But anyway, so there is like this huge variance in experiences. But I want you to know that I very much respect suspect COVID, and I am actually quite a cautious person with it still. Whenever I do actually think about some places that I'm going to go, that I'm not going to go, based on the fact that I just think that maybe I would have a higher chance of catching COVID there. So I want you to know that I respect it very much. Gordon and I have gotten our boosters. They're working from the standpoint of every now and again. Of course, we have gotten COVID. We've gotten COVID since we've had the boosters, but we have not become seriously ill with it. So that is such a blessing. So what I wanted us to talk about here a little bit is the guidance that the CDC, and I want to know what you guys think about it. Are you glad the CDC is out? And in reading through what they say, I think they're in it a little bit more than they want you to think they are. But with that announcement yesterday. So anyway, let's talk about it for a minute, but I am counting on you all to give me your opinion and what you think in the comments. Okay. So here's some things that they are still saying. So they, like I said, they have that announcement that I said in my video yesterday that the COVID-19 program for cruise ships is no longer in effect, but they do give you the guidance that you should be up to date. It says with your COVID vaccines before you cruise, that if you have a medical condition or are taking any medication that would weaken your immune system, they recommend that you just be aware that you are not fully immune, if you're not fully immunized, if you have any medical conditions, that you might be at higher risk to catch COVID. And if you travel, I think that's true everywhere. The virus that causes COVID-19, this is a funny sentence to me, spreads especially let me start it all over. The virus that causes COVID-19 spreads easily between people in close quarters on board ships. And there, I get it, that's right. But you know what? It also spreads closely between people in close quarters on airplanes and on buses, on trains, in checkout lines at the grocery store, at churches, at restaurants. So I think that's a funny sentence right there. They also remind everybody to check with your cruise lines about what their protocols are before you board. If your cruise line does not have a testing requirement, so it sounds like they know that this is coming, they suggest you test anyway before you go. And you know what? Okay, so I see two sides of that. Number one, I don't really need somebody to tell me that, but at the same time, I would test before I go. I test before I go visit our children. I test so that I don't take anything anywhere. And I surely don't want to go somewhere positive and then get sick and not enjoy it. So I think that's not bad counsel at all. And then they suggest that you also get tested again for COVID 3 to 5 days after your cruise. I would only do that if I wasn't feeling well or if I was going to go visit someone who has high risk for it. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that. And then they did refer everyone to the FAQs to let people know kind of what to expect. Let me grab those. I set them over here. Sorry. So the FAQ section so far is just really, really small. They say what happened to the CDC's COVID-19 program for cruise ships. Basically, they say that the cruise lines and the CDC have worked together, that the cruise lines have worked with health professionals, that they have got this all set up, that we have also got the advent of vaccines and the therapeutics and everything, so they feel like they don't have to give that counsel anymore. There's also the question of why was the cruise ship color coding system removed? It says the previous color coding system under the CDC's program for cruise ships depended on each cruise line having the same COVID-19 screening testing standards, which now may vary among cruise lines. Therefore, the cruise ship color status on the website has been retired. The CDC will continue to provide testing recommendation to cruise ship operators to follow, and cruise ships will continue to report COVID-19 cases to the CDC. So if any of you are out there thinking, oh my gosh, now we're going to have huge outbreaks and nobody's going to know about it, that's not the case. The cruise lines are going to continue to report the number of cases to the CDC. That color chart is not going to be there to look at anymore, but I am certain that if the CDC thinks there's too many cases on any ship, we're going to hear about it. So don't be worried about that. And then, alrighty. So then the last thing that they have here is how can travelers find out about COVID-19 outbreaks on cruise ships? Cruise travelers have the option of contacting their cruise line directly regarding outbreaks occurring on their ship. And so with this, I would say if you're really worried about it, of course you can ask, but I find it really interesting. And just keep in mind before you drive somebody crazy that an outbreak has a lot of different meanings to a lot of different people. Some people think that if you have a whole huge cruise ship and you got 10 people that have COVID, that's a problem. And so just don't worry about it. Go on your vacation, have a wonderful cruise, and don't worry about it. That would be my advice. Go well prepared if you do, and I'll do a video about that. Some things you should think about, I would say take with you now. I'll do that. But just go planning to have a wonderful vacation. Don't go worrying about whether anybody has COVID on the ship or not. If you have decided to go to fly on a plane, to go on a cruise ship, to go to a restaurant, you have accepted the risk of catching COVID. So I just wanted to bring you that today. Like I said, I would really like to hear from all of you what you think. I sure enjoy visiting with you all. It's great to have you here with us. So tomorrow, keep your eye out. I'll have more updates for you. Plus, I will have for you information on some things that I think you should pack when you go on a cruise and things Gordon and I took with us to be prepared if one of us got or both of us got COVID. So I just wanted to let you know that. And I will be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.